This is an interesting story. I love this story. I don't know. I don't even know if anybody needs to hear this, want to hear it, but to me, this story is the fucking greatest. Like because I've told it before, but now I have a new understanding because this story that I'm about to tell you happened in 2015. It's 2023. Hindsight is 2020. Kevin Durant, the legend Kevin Durant, players the world will ever see. Period. He is the prototype of this new alien that was made in his image, or supposedly. You know, you got these 7 footers out here that know it's possible to move like a guard because they see KD do it for so many years. A 7 foot wing with the greatest mid range slash 3 point shooting uh, combo there is in NBA history. The greatest shooter in NBA history when you look at all around. But let's get to the story. When I met Kevin Durant in the barbershop, shout out Trey Sephora, right? The owner of Sephora's on Beverly Boulevard. I worked there for 10 years. Um, I love those guys. Shout out Will. Um, One of my close friends that I met in that barbershop, great dude. If you don't know T Mills from Los Angeles, just do your research. He's connected with everybody. He's a Drew League coach. He's a fashion designer. He's um he's just like a great connector of people, of powerful people. And so one day he bought his good friend Kevin Durant in the barbershop. And it was 2015. This was around the time or shortly after, but I know it was still going on because the fresh debate was the Meek Mill and Drake beef. Me and Kevin Durant didn't agree on anything. He kept it so loyal with Drake. It really drove me crazy. I really couldn't stand him in the way he thought about life at that time. This is how frustrating it was having that conversation. I believe this was after Meek responded to Drake back to back because Drake dropped Charged Up, then Drake dropped back to back, and he bodied Meek, and everybody went crazy. First of all, see what back to back did to me at the time was very traumatizing. Anyway, me being from Philly, and how I found out about back to back being released. Everybody from Philly remembers, everybody my age, or maybe even 10 years younger, whatever. Everybody remember Toronto Blue Jays beating the World Series when they beat the Phillies. And you know what's so crazy? Damn. Did they go back to back? Okay, whatever. It's crazy. Anyway, I was traumatized because Charged Up was out, and I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. And at that time, like, yeah, Meek got him. He got him nervous. Now he's gonna try to show everybody he can write his own raps. And like I thought, it ain't like that. Meek don't have to respond. Anyway, I woke up the next morning, barely woke up. I answered a text, and then I went to Instagram. The text wasn't about nothing. I went to Instagram, and the first thing I saw was like, man, two people posted, you know, out of the clear blue, Toronto Blue Jays, guy hitting a home run on Philly, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. And then I was like, oh my god, I knew at that time the world was gonna be different. And then Meek responded with like it wasn't Meek's best. You know what I mean? My whole argument was that Meek didn't even have to respond because the allegations were backed up with facts that we could not dispute. It was evidence, right? So he presented evidence with the Quentin Miller thing, right? And not to bring back this beef or nothing like that. This has a great ending, and KD it was loyal to Drake. It makes sense because 2023, he executive produced his latest project, and Meek is doing good, and everybody's doing good. They're all friends and everything. This is just a story of what happened in 2015 and why I could not understand KD and he could not understand me. But I'm gonna tell. Let me continue. My whole point to KD was I'm riding with Meek because this is hip hop, and with the understanding I had growing up, you know, in pursuing rap myself, I still bleed hip hop. Although I evolved into someone who barely listens to hip hop now, but is in me. You know what I'm saying? I was under that understanding that that's still a cardinal sin in hip hop. If you're trying to be the best rapper, it's okay if you're R&B or whatever, any other genre, but if you constantly say, you know, you're the greatest rapper, I didn't understand. I'm like, no, 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 that can't be. So when I heard the Quentin Miller references of a few different songs and Drake reciting the references word for word, I felt like I was lied to by Drake for so many years because I was a fan. And then it made sense how he had the audacity to say things like last name ever, first name greatest, like a sprained ankle, boy, I ain't nothing to play with. Certain things as a rapper, you don't even have the audacity to say. But Drake had the audacity to say things that I just used to be like, I should quit rapping. And I did shortly after hearing Drake. But when Meek exposed that he had a ghostwriter, it made a whole lot of sense. So I said, wait a minute, he's cheating. Meek won this dispute. That's the way I was thinking. So I'm trying to tell this to KD, like, what do you mean? And I'm trying to use analogies. I'm like, man, that's like if somebody lost a dunk contest to Vince Carter and they found out, like, yo, he had springs in his shoes that made him jump, and they knew he cheated, and everybody like, so what? Do a better dunk, like, you know, whatever. I was making analogies, and he just was not understanding. Then he was coming back with things like, well, how you know the reference tracks is real? You know, Quentin Miller could have went in the studio and did those after hearing Drake. And I'm like, that's not how it worked. And I'm talking about butted heads, right? Then the real debate started. That was just the warm up. That was nothing. It was something. I ain't gonna lie. It was something. Me being from Philly, me having my heart broken when Drake bodied Meek. And I had to argue with everybody in the shop that came in because they knew I'm from Philly and I'm riding with Meek. Then I don't know what happened or how we got on this topic, but we got on the Bron versus KD debate. That debate was crazy because this is where it got so interesting. I forgot what I said to trigger him, but he stood up and was like, "You think Bron better than me?" Because the whole time we was arguing with the Drake and Meek debate, pretty much he was sitting down, barber chair, in one of the barber chairs, and yeah, and I was standing up the whole time, very very enthusiastic and charismatic. I was very passionate about what I was saying. he got up and was like, "You think Bron better than me?" And it was like, "Yo, hold up," because I'm now he's standing up. I'm like, "Dang, hold on now." I said, look, I don't know, champ. You know, all I could go to was like, I mean, he beat you. I mean, I don't know. You gotta. I was telling him in so many ways. You gotta show the. You gotta prove that you're better than him. You know what I mean? You have the opportunity to do it. Do it. You know. Yeah, he wasn't feeling that. You know what I mean? So he started breaking it down like, KD is talking to me while he's in triple threat with an imaginary ball. And he's asking me, he said, "You think Bron better than me? So you think Bron better than me?" Like and I'm like, damn, in my head, I'm like, man, he cold, like nobody better than you. For real, for real. Like, no. But I'm like, yo, my argument is like, I'm like, yo, bro, he just beat him. Like, I still at this time I'm thinking like, why can't you just beat him? You know what I mean? Why can't you just beat him? You had an opportunity to beat him, right? This is the part where everything ties in. Because the whole time he was saying to me that, what you mean? We had a young team, LeBron coming in with Wade and Bosh. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was young. You know what I mean? Like I'm better than him. I'm better than him. I can play basketball better than him. I can dribble and shoot, get to my spot. My jumper is prettier. I like my game better than his. He's supposed to say that. Any 7 feet, he's supposed to say that, think that, feel that, believe that. He's supposed to know that. And he did, right? But I wasn't feeling none of that because I'm like, you gotta show that. You gotta be that. You gotta really display that on that big stage. You gotta beat him. But he was saying that if I would have had Ghost Riders too, then of course I'll be better than him. I can do what he does because he was looking at it how I was looking at the Drake and Meek beef. A lot of people in the world was saying, stay with me, guys. Stay with me, guys. I hope y'all understand this irony. But a lot of people was saying at the time, I mean, why don't Meek just get Ghost Riders? We want to hear what he got to say. We want to hear what he got to say. Drake bodying him. And we like, yeah, he's bodying him. Yes, Drake bodying him, but how y'all know somebody didn't write back to back? They like, so what? Who cares? Meek better get some writers. So I'm like, yo, I was so frustrated. So now, back to KD. He was so frustrated with me. I was frustrated with him. He was frustrated with me because he's like, bro, why are you sitting up here saying I had a fair chance and we was young and he went and left after being a veteran and leaving to go join with somebody who really was a ghostwriter because he really already had the blueprint. He done it before. He's ready to show him how to be a champion. He said, if I do that, then I will beat him. If I had my ghostwriter, if I go join a team with a finals MVP and we meet, I'll beat him too. That's what he was trying to say to me. I was trying to tell him, no, he is right. Meek Mill is right for calling him out for having ghostwriters. The world told me at that time, like they told Meek Mills, hey Meek, we don't. It's free game. It's free game. It's a new day and age. Get ghostwriters if that's what you got to do. We don't care about nothing. Meek ain't know. He had to get the memo like all the hip hop lovers from that era. That is over now. You can swagger jack, get ghostwriters, do whatever you got. We want to hear the fire. And that's what the NBA was telling Kevin Durant. We don't care if LeBron went to the Heat. Beat him. Let's get it. What you do what you gotta do. So KD did what he had to do. And nobody liked it. Nobody liked it. I hated it. Nobody like that. So I just understand now. In 2023, I understand now. He was only trying to say, listen, man. Basically, LeBron did something that's like, bro, when they do that, right? When they do that, that's who stopped the young OKC team, Destiny. That's who was in the way. A put together, made up go. That's what stopped him. So it's just like how I was looking at it at the time when Meek Mill's like, wow, we had all the momentum. We used to pray for times like that. And he get back to back. So KD the whole time was saying, if that's what we doing, when I don't get mad when I pull a you on you. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem. He was trying to tell us back then, me at least. He was trying to tell me to my face in triple threat pivot. Ugh, nasty. Bro, you're judging me by what I was able to achieve with an organic draft built young gun squad. First team in their franchise, by the way. OKC Thunder took them to the finals and we supposed to beat them. Oh, so I'm supposed to go, if I'm Meek Mills, I'm supposed to go construct a verse better than back to back in the studio by myself without a ghostwriter. With that understanding, that's what Meek thought. Like, how am I gonna do this? I called him out for having a ghostwriter. I wouldn't dare get help to go body him. I gotta do it on myself. And he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. I'm gonna end this story with some real irony. I can't make this up. I can't make none of this up, but this part I can't. The whole time, y'all wouldn't believe what the elephant in the room was. The elephant in the room was the $250 pair of Kevin Durant with the KD edition. I forgot what number shoes I was wearing. I had on a pair of KD, arguing with KD, disagreeing with life itself. But an hour and a half to 2 hours, I had on that man's shoes, arguing. Yeah. But then we went out and took a picture. When I saw that picture, I realized. When I saw it, I'm like, oh shit. I got on this man's shoes, man. Two heated debates that we didn't agree with, but the great part is that I understand 1,000% where he was coming from. He was more open minded. This generation is different. Any rapper out there, get ghostwriters if you ain't up to par, if you can't make these hits. This is why you're not winning. Get ghostwriters. You got to have a hell of a delivery, and you got to be a hell of a writer too. You got to have a hell of a bag. That's why I know Meek would have been the greatest if he would have adopted that, but he didn't know. He stayed true. I commend anyone for staying true. I'm just talking about if you want to battle Drake or if you want to beat LeBron. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I didn't understand then, KD, but I do understand now because if LeBron never would have left Cleveland to go to Miami and had everybody hating him and choking in the first round, I mean in his first finals with them, he would not have learned how to become a champion and what that felt like. And being able to say, I went through the storm. I went through the hate, the scrutiny, the ridicule, the you know what I'm saying, everything. He wouldn't have did that. And then he would not have went back to Cleveland and brought the title back to Cleveland and regained the respect of everybody that lost respect for him doing that. Kevin Durant, if Kevin Durant never left, well, damn, I believe he would have won the next year after that because they had a 3-1 lead. It's not the same. I do understand that it is kind of the same. If Kevin Durant would have never went to Golden State, he would have never beat LeBron James. Was it back to back? He back to back them. That's some irony. Wait a minute. It was back to back? He back to back. AD is the real winner of this whole conversation. But no, I think I am because I'm more mature now. I've evolved and I understand KD and I understand the world. The world, thank you guys for letting me know y'all don't give a about nothing. And just because I understand and I accept how people are and I am forgiving, I still got my personal values and what I value. Okay? And I still can respect this more than that and vice versa. I can do what I want to do. So there are things that, I don't like what LeBron did. I don't like what KD did. I understand what LeBron did. I understand what KD did. I am not going to judge them anymore. They both won, in my opinion. They both are winners. They both are champions. My opinion don't matter anyway. You know, them dudes are Hall of Fame, top, forget top 75. Come on, bro. They both top 10. You know, they both probably top 5. Who knows? It's debatable. But anyway, that's my story. That's story time, man.